Welcome to the Undercovers podcast. I'm Ben, along with Tommy, Jenna, and Paul as usual. And we're joined by Connor for the second week in a row. So, Connor, thank you again for coming on to recap the Bills' big win over the Dolphins. And sorry, Connor, we had a little enjoyment this week at your team's expense. But, I mean, you'll get your chance week 18. But I don't think any of us, last week when we were talking about how this game went, like in the back of my mind, I wanted it to go that way, but I don't think any of us really could have predicted how it went. But I mean, there were a couple key injuries for Miami, so I mean that definitely played a little bit of a factor with Liam Eichenberg having to start at center. But Connor, why don't you just offer your thoughts on the loss for your Dolphins on Sunday?
All right, if you insist, Ben. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the copium because I got a lot of it. I know most Dolphins fans have a lot of it. So let me start off just by saying there's no excuses. That second half, we basically decided to flatline and give up. Once Teron Armstead went down, I think you could see the light in the entire Dolphins' eyes just die. We went from actually going head-to-head, shooting out pretty well, to just flat. Tua finally got pressured and started to just scamper a little bit. But at the end of the day, I don't want to make the injury excuse because that's just lame. I've seen it everywhere throughout all of social media. We're all just making excuses this, excuses that. Liam Eichenberg being the center actually cost us 14 points. Not even kidding. He cost us 14 points by being at center instead of Connor Williams. Why I say that, if you remember the very end of the game in garbage time, Tua gets that look to Jalen Waddle, catches it in the corner of the end zone. It's called back because Liam Eichenberg decided to be ineligible man downfield. The Dolphins did not get a touchdown or a field goal. Wait, Jenna, what?
I said, what was Blood doing down there?
I don't even want to know. Man thought he was Robert Hunt in the Ravens game a few years ago. Like, he wasn't going to get that ball, even if Tua did look his way. But there was that, and then there was, I think it was toward the third quarter, they were on the move, and that very deep, I think it was either a deep touchdown or I think it might have been something that Barrios did. I just can't remember off the top of my head right now, but it got called back because, what you guessed it, Liam Eichenberg decides he's going to hold a guy. So it's not just Liam Eichenberg. What on earth happened to Kader Kohou, man? I don't even know what defensive scheme Vic Fangio was cooking. But whatever he's cooking, it was raw. Absolutely raw.
You might as well call him Cater Diggs because he's Steph's son now.
Yeah, I don't know why on earth. If you watch the game, Josh Allen doesn't throw Xavier Howard's way the whole game. It's most of where I'm looking on Twitter during the game, and I'm looking at people going, "Where's Xavier Howard?" And we're sitting there saying the same thing. Where is Xavier Howard? Xavier Howard is off, I don't even know what, guarding Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid, or what is he doing?
He was guarding Davis probably.
Yeah, and he still got burnt. Gabe Davis got that second touchdown.
Yeah.
It's like,
it was the first touchdown.
Oh, was it the first?
Yeah.
It was our first
one. It was the first drive.
First drive.
Yeah, and then we responded right back. But at the end of the day, man, this is a good representation of the copium in my veins right now because we blew it. I don't know why Kader Kohou was guarding Stephon Diggs the entire game, but he was.
Can we just give it up for Diggs and that 55-yard run where he broke those two tackles?
I was like, I thought he was down.
I haven't seen a Bills player do that in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the last Bills player to get like a long touchdown like that off of a broken tackle. Probably,
The yak for that.
Off
yeah,
of
maybe
two.
maybe like Stevie Johnson. I know he had a
Yeah.
couple long ones. That Bengals game. I mean,
Did
I don't know.
Marshawn Lynch ever do it for us, Ben?
I mean, he
He
had
was
some
Bill.
beast plays. I mean, Fred Jackson against Pittsburgh. I don't know if you remember that screen he had.
Yeah.
And that was actually ironically the game Stevie had the drop in OT, but that was a pretty beast yards after catch run.
Yeah.
And then if there was another one, I would say it would probably be like Donald Jones actually had a couple of nice ones too in his day.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Donald Jones.
Yeah.
He was good for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, seemed like Dolphins Twitter had a lot of fun with the Liam Eichenberg memes. Connor, I don't think I've ever seen a fan base roast a single player so much based off one game.
Y'all only saw the Liam Eichenberg tweets. Y'all only saw half of it. Kader Kohu got it just as bad.
Oh.
You know who else got it just as bad that I'm honestly kind of disgusted? Jerome Baker got a lot of flack too.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
Jerome Baker caught a lot of it, but to be fair, the tweets that they were directing at Jerome Baker were inexcusable.
Bradley Chubb too. Sorry.
Bradley Chubb has been the biggest waste of a trade Chris Greer has ever put a first-round pick into. I love this guy, but when it comes to a top-tier offensive line, this man turns into a ghost.
I mean, that move Deion Dawkins did where he just literally just backed up and just buried him into the ground. Like, oh my gosh.
He put
him out of the game picture. You couldn't even see him then.
I know that one, but I'll talk about the other one. You know, the one where he just literally backed up and let Chubb's weight just push him to the ground. Like Chubb literally just lost his balance on this one rep, and then Dawkins just pancaked them after. Insult to injury.
That was great.
But yeah, the other one he completely just knocked him out of the frame, and I mean, Christian Wilkins definitely did not get the better of the Bills this week. He met Osiris Torrance, and Torrance had him in the dog pound all day.
Yep.
Remind me again, that's a rookie, right?
Yeah. It was a rookie. You could have taken him instead of Cam Smith. I'll remind you that. How did Cam Smith look? Just saying.
Cam Smith didn't really play. I don't even think he was on the. I don't remember if he was active or not. But at the end of the day, Christian Wilkins' hopes for a contract out the window.
Out the window.
Out the window completely. He does not deserve an extension. As a matter of fact, if he shows up maybe against another good offensive line, sure. I don't really know where I'd rate y'all's compared to some of the opponents we have left. I know the Eagles' O-line is particularly good, so maybe Christian Wilkins gets another shot.
Is he going to be a free agent after this season, or has he got one more year left?
I'm pretty sure he's going to be a free agent.
The Bills only have one D tackle under contract. Just saying.
Hey, I will say this: the Bills.
You can put him next to Ed Oliver.
They need to pay Daquan Jones because.
Pay Daquan Jones, Tommy.
Daquan Jones balled out in that game.
Doesn't he have the number one pressure rate from interior defensive linemen in the league? So. That sack he had, and how about Ed Oliver? I know PFF does not give him the flowers he deserves, but I mean PFF is all completely objective ratings. It's literally not based on anything other than opinion and what should be quality play. There's no baseline or anything. It's I'm gonna give this guy a grade, but Ed Oliver is looking like Donald Jr., and that's who we wanted him to be when we drafted him. And all the comps said Aaron Donald, and I'm not saying this man is Aaron Donald, but he provided some really good pressures. That sack on 4th and 1. He had some run stopping plays. He's creating some phenomenal defensive pressure. And Connor, I remember last week we talked about the pressure, and it really was the interior pressure that got to him. And even I know the Bills' edges still got home some, but the fact that, and I think it just goes back to this being exemplified by how much your team your fan base collectively is bashing Liam Eichenberg just goes to show you how much the Bills interior defensive lineman just collectively kicked his and the other interior defensive linemen's rear ends, right? Like it was just a dominant performance literally from start to finish from Oliver. And I know Eichenberg is a weakness, but it was definitely exposed, and you could see Tua. It forced him off platform a couple times. It forced him to hold on to the ball because he couldn't really see his throwing lanes when he's got a big, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones coming right at him. So that interior defensive pressure was critical for the Bills defense.
I'll tell you this, Ed Oliver has earned that contract extension.
100%.
Yeah.
So I love it.
The Bills definitely made the right decision re-signing him.
Yes, they did.
And they got a bargain for what they did.
100%. 100%.
Yes, the Bills, they're number 1 in the league in coverage on a quarterback's first read.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes though without
Joe Marino. Joe Marino's podcast, like he said something about that.
That's phenomenal.
So
hopefully that trend continues without Trey.
Yeah.
And just what a brutal injury for Trey White. Like definitely thoughts and prayers going out to him. Like he came back and it looked like he was starting to get back into form. He was making plays and he looked confident. Like he kind of had his swag back, and he tears his Achilles. I mean, with the modern surgery and medical technology, I don't think his career is necessarily done, but it's going to be an uphill battle. So the Bills do have some depth at that position though, and we'll see how Kaiir Elam really looks. Former first round pick, but I'm confident in Elam, guys. I don't know about you, and even Jackson, in my opinion, looked a lot better when he played on Sunday than he did when we saw him at the end of last season.
Yeah, sorry. Dane Jackson, like I think he had like the highest coverage grade or something.
Really?
PFF coverage grade of last week. Don't quote me on that, but he had a phenomenal.
I'm quoting
game.
you on that.
Okay.
Quote her on it.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal game. Christian Benford, I think he didn't have a great game. PFF wise, his grade wasn't great. But he came back in the game playing injured because Trey White went down. So that could have factored into it. I mean, when you don't hear anything about those players on defense, I mean, especially in the secondary, other than like interceptions and stuff, it'd be tackles for loss. That they're doing a good job.
And we did add another corner today, right? Just to the practice squad.
Yeah, I forgot.
Herb Miller
played for the Panthers, right? Right, Ben?
I believe Panthers. He was on the Bucks actually when they won the Super Bowl. I think he was on Kansas City too at one point. I was looking at the roster. I think maybe last year he was on Philly. He's been on a couple different teams, but yeah, former Panther. So that's like obviously the first thing that comes to mind. And just I guess lastly, just on Miami, I was really impressed by Devin Achane. I know we kind of talked about him last show, but I mean, he showed out even more, I feel like, because you can't really – I mean, even the Bears looked like an NFL team against the Broncos. So it's kind of a hard litmus test to really get an assessment on how good a player is. But when Achane is just running through the whole Bills defense, and to be honest, like he even seems faster than Tyreek Hill out there. Like, and he's got great vision and contact balance. Like, you guys found a stud in the third round at running back, Connor.
League really messed up. They had every opportunity to get a Chan from us when they saw that man's 40 and failed miserably, and we love it. Achan was easily the brightest of 3 spots for the Miami Dolphins all game long. That was bright spot 1. Bright spot 2 was Tua. He had a really decent game. He didn't have a disaster class. It's not like he went out there and threw 5 interceptions. I think he threw what? 2?
He had 1 interception and
1 touchdown.
Yeah, 1 touchdown. Yeah,
Yep.
so he had 1 interception. He had one that Tre'Davious White should have probably ran
my
back
God,
into the
yeah.
end zone, if we're being honest. But there's like a fumble 2 plays later, so ball don't lie. And then Bernard almost had one, so he had a couple near ones, but yeah, he just had 1. But I mean, I thought Tua played. He played probably as good as you can ask, just considering what he had to deal with in terms of the Bills' defense, just constantly attacking, and even the Miami receivers. It's not like Hill and Waddle were just running open all game. The Bills, what Sean McDermott did is he decided to be physical at the line to press them. It got Miami off their routes. So, most teams don't like to run man against Miami. I saw a bunch of tweets last week about, oh yeah, run man against Miami. You don't want to do that. And I should have went back and pulled all the bookmarks and said, oh, how did that work out? But needless to show, Sean McDermott was aggressive, and it ended up working out because playing man helped because of how McDaniel formulates his offense. His players are so bunched up. So as you even saw, Trey White got in with that, that corner blitz, which I don't think I've ever seen in a Frazier defense, a kind of call like that.
No.
Like that was a beautiful play call. And I mean, you saw other blitzes like Milano and Bernard were attacking most of the game as well. So, I mean, it was just a very complex and aggressive style defense. And if the Bills can have a defense like that, they can definitely go far in the playoffs,
Ben, you could say that we've got the 2 best linebackers in the league right now.
Two of the best coverage linebackers.
2 of the best
100% coverage linebackers for sure, Tommy. Yeah. And then just as far as duos, I think they're definitely right up there in the top 2 to 3. Like the only one that I could say is that might be up there close is Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, but I don't think Patrick Queen is playing as good as Bernard is.
Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw.
Nah.
Isn't Greenlaw more like an outside linebacker? Or maybe he's inside. You might be right.
I don't think they've been that good though.
They haven't been that
good. Warner is good, but to me,
not compared to y'all. No.
Yeah.
Good,
right.
yes. Very top tier, yes. But not compared to y'all. Yeah. I was actually just amazed the whole time at your linebacking core, just sitting in there, actually watching Tua, spying Tua. Like I'm sitting there going, Fangio, are you watching what they're doing? Take notes, man. Take
We're
notes.
so disciplined.
I mean,
you heard Dolphins fans all off season that like the Fangio defense is going to stop the Bills, and then we just go out and we told them back like Bills are like Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs cooks against these guys, like they know how to play, and then they come out and score 48, and I was like, well, okay. I mean they held the Buff. I said on a couple of shows is that if we hold Miami to under 30 points, so anywhere in that 20 to 27 range, I say the Bills win that game. They held them to 20 points, and look what happened. We beat them by 28.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone caught what Romo said, just basically talking about how Kuechly was such an integral part of McDermott defense, and you just see how the linebackers are playing. You go back with Thomas Davis and Kuechly in Carolina. What was the common denominator was Bobby Babich was coaching those linebackers and both squads. And I know McDermott has his fingertips imminent all over this defense, but if I'm Sean McDermott, I am not letting Bobby Babich go to another team as a defensive coordinator. I am promoting him, making him the defensive coordinator. Eric Washington can walk for as long as I'm concerned, because, I mean, the defensive line, most of the production, not most of it, but a lot of the production comes from older vets or guys like you don't see the draft picks development really panning out like you would want to see from early investments. And I know Rousseau and Oliver are now looking good, but they've been on the team for a couple years. And we've brought in guys like Daquan Jones and Von Miller and Leonard Floyd to help as well. So, like, I mean, if someone else wants to promote Eric Washington, go for it. But like Bobby Babich, I would hope McDermott can try to promote him to defensive coordinator, even if it's just in title, and make him the assistant coach. Whatever you got to do, keep him here because he's done a phenomenal job with these linebackers.
I agree.
Oh.
You don't want to lose that coach.
Welcome to Miami, Babich.
Don't even get any thoughts. Yeah,
Trust me.
you're a big Fangio, and you're very happy.
Oh,
with him.
yeah.
You keep
we're-
Fangio.
yeah,
He's doing just
Oh,
fine. with y'all
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
Fangio's doing fine. Yeah, okay.
He'll warm up.
We're looking. A lot of our copium has been we're gonna get either Robert Saleh or
Yeah, I saw
or
that.
Bobby Babich as DC because everybody's already ready to give up on Vic Fangio after one bad loss.
I will say one thing I noticed. I don't know if anyone else realized this, but the last two Allen versus Fangio games almost had nearly identical scores. It was 48-20 and 48-19. I almost posted. It was literally 1 point off, and it was the same offensive output. 48 points against Vic
crazy, man.
Fangio.
That is
What is
so-
up with like this weird Denver comparison? Like, it's like every team that the Bills faced, they faced Denver the week before.
Except
It's like this
Jacksonville.
weird thing.
Yeah.
Except Jacksonville.
That's
Jacksonville is coming off Atlanta, and I guess we'll get to that in a moment. But any last thoughts on the Dolphins game? We'll play them week 18, and I guess just really for me, Josh had one of the best games I've seen him play in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better than that New England Patriots game, but like almost everything, was hitting the receivers in their hands. Like, even that one incompletion to Diggs out of bounds. Yeah, he threw it a little quick, but if you go back and look at the replay, it just looks like Diggs mistimed the jump. That one to Sherfield in the center of the field that went off his hands. That one to Shakir may have been the best throw of the game. I think the defender got a little bit of the face mask there, but I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. But like that Shakir throw, and like Josh had more touchdowns and total incompletions. His 12th, I believe it's his 12th. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy. AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors in his career. 5th against Miami. So, Connor, it's just not a – you guys definitely need to find another solution to stopping Josh Allen because Vic Fangio isn't it. Maybe Ramsey will help cover Diggs, but my other observation was your linebackers really are not that good.
Well, remember what I said last episode about how every Bills fan would be looking at our defense and going, "Who is this Andrew Van Ginkel guy?" There's our third bright spot of the game. I happen to be right. Andrew Van Ginkel showed up, showed out, but sadly, he was the sadly. Yeah, he had 2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Yeah, he had 2 on Allen. Yeah, he was the only one on our defense to show up.
He was really the only one that I noticed that was getting pressure, and hopefully you guys can get Jalen Phillips back. I mean, not that you really need him this week because, I mean, I think both of us, can get past the Giants tackles from Monday night's game just based on how it went, 11 sacks. But when you go against those better teams, like you definitely need to get some type of, pass rush. And
you guys play the Eagles in a couple weeks.
It's not like you don't have the personnel like Chubb, Wilkins, Phillips, Agba. On paper though, that should be a pretty good rotation. But right now, the front four has not been getting home, and it might be time for Fangio to start mixing it up.
Yeah, for sure, because we were just watching that game and we were wondering why Vic Fangio never adjusted. Kader Kohu never came off of Stephon Diggs in the second half, and we were just sitting there asking why. At least you got to try to put Xavier Howard on Stephon Diggs at some point. And heaven forbid, not even the defense, really. I can't even really be mad at Kader Kohu because the whole he tried. It's not easy to cover Stephon Diggs.
No.
I definitely share my fan base's with Liam Eichenberg the most, because if Liam Eichenberg 2 times does not commit penalties, the Dolphins score 2 times. The last, towards garbage time, when Tua got that really nice pass to Jalen Waddle in the end zone, it got called back because Liam Eichenberg was an ineligible man downfield. Who does he think he is? He thinks he's Robert Hunt and this is the Ravens game? What are you doing going up that far? And the sad part was he knew it. He knew it, and he stopped.
Connor, I got a question for you.
I might have an answer, Tommy.
Why did y'all go for 2 in that situation when y'all did?
Oh yeah, that's a burning question.
That's what I want to know. Like, what was y'all thinking there to go for 2?
I don't even know. I know Coach McDaniel explained it, but I couldn't even. At that point, I was just tuned out. Like, you went
The
for
math
2.
at that point doesn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
it
doesn't.
didn't make sense in the heat of the moment either.
It made more sense just to keep it at because it would have been a 10-point game.
Mhm.
Yeah,
11, I think. Like anywhere like 10 or 11.
No, because them going for 2 kept it 11-point game. The Bills kicked a field goal, then they had an interception, and then they scored a touchdown to make it a 21. They scored actually 2 more touchdowns. So after that, the Bills scored 17 unanswered to end the game.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was 11 at that point.
Mhm. The entire time, we're just sitting there watching Liam Eichenberg turn into a human turnstile, and it was just really unfortunate. Because earlier in the game, too, he had another crucial flag that eliminated a Dolphins touchdown. So if it wasn't for Liam Eichenberg at center, heaven forbid, we would have actually put up 34 points. But no excuse. He played bad. That's all there is to it. But
fortunately, you guys. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there was one last thing I was going to just nail in the coffin here. How does Kader Kohu and Justin Bethel not tackle Stephon Diggs? How do you actually let him catch the ball, sit there wide open, grab him by the ankles, literally go for the cut block, and you still let him go?
Diggs is magical.
It was the same reason you saw your boy, the Snowman, Javon Holland, end up on angry runs because Dawson Knox placed him into the turf. But every single time the Bills receivers had the ball in their hands, your guys were just going for the strip. Like, they were going for the ball, not the tackles. And that ended up costing them, that touchdown, a couple of first downs. So,
can we just?
this is poor tackling by Miami.
Give a round of applause for the Bills' ball handling. If they were going for the ball, like the Bills held on.
Yeah, and we forced a couple fumbles ourselves. We only got one back, but I know Milano had one. I think that was the one Bernard recovered. Johnson had one. I don't think that one was recovered. But great.
No.
Overall clean football. I mean, we love a clean turnover sheet, no turnovers. I think the Bills punted once the whole game, maybe twice. I think once.
Or was it twice?
I think it was twice.
It was twice because there was at one point where the offenses just died. And it was like four consecutive punts, and like 2 for the Bills, 2 for the Dolphins. It was like a
yeah, but still 2 punts.
No offense.
Man, I love a game like that.
Don't we all?
But fortunately, Connor, you guys go home. You get a little bit of help by playing the Giants, who are reeling. You play the Panthers, who don't look good at all. So, you have the opportunity to rebound, get to 5-1. I don't know who you play after that when your bye is, but you guys, the Eagles. So, if you guys get the 5-1 into the Eagles, you're on your way.
Oh, please. We can beat the Eagles. They won't be able to catch us on offense.
Yeah, but Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are gonna have something to say about that interior line. I'm just saying. So
yeah,
they're free.
I'm not gonna say, and the Bills have a great offense, but Philly has an offense just like the Bills, and Cater Kohu versus Devontae Smith or AJ Brown
Come on,
sounds like a
DeAndre
major
Swift.
mismatch. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a shootout, Connor. But just because they got weak corners, it's not. I mean, that's not a gimme for the Dolphins anyway.
Oh no, never
No.
was. I'm just
And
I'm
isn't it
just
in
very
Philly?
confident.
It's in Philly. Yep.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that fan base. That does make me think though, when y'all's offense had the field every time. At one point, toward the end of the game, I thought y'all broke my TV speakers. They were so loud that
Yeah.
I'm just like, no wonder the offense got thrown off so hard. Because literally every third down, you could just hear that whole stadium go up in absolute like. I'm amazed there wasn't an earthquake generated from that game. Like if y'all remember Beastquake from like 2012 or 2011. I'm
Yeah.
amazed y'all didn't get. I'm
Tyreek
amazed
got
that
his
never
answer
happened.
when he said, the crowd wasn't going to be a factor. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I mean,
was.
Drew Bledsoe
oh.
hyped them up with OOO.
Tyreek
Mhm.
quite pumped. And then with the shirts, I think the shirts got
Yeah,
you out, too.
Josh,
Yeah.
Josh
I-
and Diggs definitely, caught notice of those shirts.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they decided to do that anyway. Like maybe
Underdog.
They're
it's
just
because they
poking the
thought-
bear.
Yeah,
You
like
don't poke the bear, especially when
no.
the bear is Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
not the bear you want to poke. I'm just saying.
Mm-mm.
No, but at the end of the day, going back to the Eagles, there is one thing that the Eagles don't have, and that's a quarterback on the level of Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts is good, but he's not Josh
Oh,
Allen.
100%.
100%. I agree.
100%.
There,
Any
I don't-
other thoughts on the Dolphins?
I was going to get my two takeaways.
Oh,
My first takeaway is just the Josh Diggs connection. Diggs said in the interview, they're about to explode, and
100%.
where it starts.
Right.
And then my second takeaway is just how the defense played all around.
The defense was phenomenal.
It was just phenomenal. So those are my two takeaways from the game.
All right. Well, now the Bills go to London. I don't know if you want to stay on, Connor, and talk about the Jaguars game with us, but the Bills got a big game in London to try to just keep up the positive momentum. 9:30 in Tottenham Stadium. So, guys, what are your early thoughts on this London game?
This is an
yeah.
interesting game for me as I sit here and look at it. I mean, you got Jacksonville, who's already been there in London, right? They've been there for about a week, and we're going to be for a week for as we speak. I mean, they're not practicing in their facilities. They're there at a little resort, so they're using whatever abilities they have there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the advantage is to Buffalo because they're not leaving, and I believe until tomorrow afternoon. So
Right.
after they practice, so their last practice is going to be Thursday. Then they're leaving for London, and I think that's where the Bills have an advantage because they've been in Buffalo for most of the week. They're using their facility to practice and to train. They have all the stuff here, and they're using their own stuff instead of leaving early and have to use whatever they find in London. So I think that's where the advantage is for the Bills right now because they're not leaving until Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, imagine the guys who got injured last week. I'm not sure who did, but not having the same accommodations that you usually have in your home facility, that's got to be tough when you're 2,000 miles away. And if I know the Bills, Von Miller, he's practicing. He practiced today.
Yes, he did.
He was limited. So I personally don't think that he's going to play on Sunday just because you're going to a different country many miles away and you don't have access to the same things you do at home. Even in the playing in the United States with access to, if God forbid something happens and let's say you're in Foxborough or something like that and you're playing it's still iffy too.
Right.
You're playing on a different turf. You don't have the same access to the things that you do in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think that there would be an advantage for the Bills to put Von out there. right
You guys
away.
worried about Greg Russo at all, like with the foot?
We'll see about his practice status tomorrow. If he doesn't participate, then I will say I don't think he's gonna play. If he's limited, then he's got probably a 40% chance of playing.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right.
We don't have a definitive diagnosis yet for him.
Jags too. They're getting their offensive tackle back, Cam Robinson. If I'm not, is that
Yep.
Yeah.
getting back?
I mean, injuries are interesting because, I mean, do you practice these guys before going to London, or do you decide to leave them, limited and not getting much practice before going to London because you're going to have that long flight, and when you get there, you got to adjust to the time. So it'd be interesting. So when I saw these injuries, during the game as it was unfolding, I was thinking these guys who got dinged up or a little dinged up are probably not going to get as much practice time as they would normally probably get if they were just slightly dinged, just to recover so they can go onto the flight and be fine. But does that maybe they come off slow in the early portion of the game because they haven't practiced much? Probably. But I mean, you still have them somewhat healthy and ready to go when you take the flight to London.
So, Zay Jones, I got the Jags injury report. Zay Jones was limited with a knee. I think he practiced in some capacity. Parker Washington didn't practice. Safety Antonio Johnson was limited. Devin Lloyd didn't play with, or he didn't practice with his thumb. I don't know if what his status for Sunday could be. Jamal Agnew, limited. He's a very explosive return guy, a difference maker. Josh Allen, their star pass rusher, limited. DeJuan Smoot, limited with an Achilles, or Dwayne, however you say. Cam Robinson was a full participant. And then, good luck. Falorunsu Fatukasi, however you say his name, limited with his shoulder. So, I mean, they got some guys. I mean, the Bills injury report looks a little depressing today. Christian Benford obviously didn't practice.
No, he practiced.
No, he was limited.
Oh, sorry. I mean, he was limited. I meant to say he practiced, but he didn't. He wasn't a full participant. He had the red non-contact jersey on. So, I mean, he should practice. Elam will definitely. I mean, I'm convinced we'll see Elam on Sunday. So that, I mean, I'm sure the Bills have been ramping up to get Kyer Elam back. Von Miller says he feels good and he wants to play now. Whether the Bills decide to play Von or not, I mean, it's not like they need him. They currently lead the NFL in sacks. I think they got the highest sack percentage, and the higher pass rush win percentages as well, win rates. So, I mean, even without Von, but Greg Rousseau didn't practice. So, is there a chance he could miss Sunday's game? I don't know about that. Like, that's a new development. And I mean, if Rousseau doesn't play, the Bills still have Floyd, who's been phenomenal. They still got Epineza, who's been, good in his spots. Kingsley Jonathan had a very good pass rush, on one of his snaps on Sunday. So even if Kingsley Jonathan has to play, I'm fairly confident in Kingsley Jonathan. I think he can bring something.
This might be man, it breaks my heart that Eli Yanku got picked up by the
Was it the Falcons? Yeah.
But we do have Cameron Klein on the practice squad. We could elevate him for the game if Rousseau is not able to go.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Floyd and Epinesa, or even Floyd Lawson.
I mean, I think Lawson's still solid depth.
Yeah,
he's not Rousseau for sure, but I mean, he sets the edge. He'll get back there, make his fair share of big plays. So I mean, as far as the defense goes, obviously you're gonna miss something with Tre'Davious White, and who knows how this Jordan Poyer situation is going to continue to unfold. He's been missing practice.
He actually
He was limited today. They
Oh,
said
he did? He
he's
did?
improving.
Yeah, he looks fine.
Yeah, he looks
Okay, so he might play, but still, I mean, that knee injury could linger. It did last
Right.
season. So, I mean, that is something that is a little concerning to me. But I feel that Rapp has been very serviceable in his spots. I know he got burned by Mostert, but let's be honest, Poyer is not beating Mostert in that route anyway. So, I mean, even if Poyer was playing, he would have gotten dusted. That was just a great throw by Tua, a great catch by Mostert. I mean, Mostert is just freaking fast. But
right.
That was the throw of the game.
Yeah, that was a really good throw.
That Shakir throw, forget about it. That throw by Tua to Mostert was the throw of the game. Straight up.
That's a freaking running back grabbing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was the freaking catch of the game, besides the Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
Yeah. But Jacksonville's offense is a little different than Miami's. I feel like they got a little bit more offensive weapons. Yes, I know Miami's got more speed and more talent on the outside, but Jacksonville, between the tight ends and I think wide receiver 3, they have a clear advantage over Miami. I think Zay Jones is more of a wide receiver 2 on most teams. And who knows if he'll play because he's been limited, but I mean, between Kirk, Jones, Ingram, and now really, I mean, honestly, that's one of the best trios in the league, in my opinion. Like, probably up there, top 2 or 3. I don't think there's many, 1, 2, 3s that are as good collectively. And then they got a very good pass catching tight end. So, I mean,
you didn't even mention Ridley.
Yeah,
I mentioned Ridley.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Ridley,
Yep.
Ridley, Kirk, and Jones, a 1, 2, 3. Yep, and I mean, Evan Engram as well. Like, he's a dynamic pass catching tight end who's almost more like a wide receiver. And Doug Peterson comes from the Reed school of thinking, so it's going to be an interesting chess matchup because last time we faced Doug Peterson, he freaking kicked our rear ends back in Buffalo. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was 2019.
Philly?
We lost to the Eagles. Yeah.
That was the Josh Allen masterclass, and y'all put up 6 points and lost.
No. I'm talking about 2 years prior.
When we played the Eagles.
Yeah, when Peterson was in Philly. That was the Urban Meyer game. That debacle.
That was a disaster showing. That was the Josh Allen masterclass. I was here for it.
It was a Josh Allen bowl, a Manning cast curse.
We need Dion to keep going on that trajectory that he's been on. I think he's like a top 10 rated tackle, or at least left tackle. He's gonna have his hands full against Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen this week. And really, last time we lost to the Jags, it really just came down to the other Josh Allen simply taking over the game, and we couldn't stop Josh Allen.
It was the offensive line was awful.
It was, and Josh Allen.
Spencer Brown didn't play.
Yeah,
I think it was Darrell Williams sliding in at tackle.
Ike Butker was our starting guard.
It was like Superman versus Bizarro type thing, Josh Allen versus Josh Allen, and the other Josh Allen got the better of our Josh Allen, and hopefully
we'll reverse it.
Yeah, hopefully, this time, right, Tommy? We're able to reverse it, and Jacksonville's offense. I mean, they've shown flashes. The Indianapolis game, of course, they scored their points. And then against Atlanta, they looked more in sync. But I mean, against Houston, against Kansas City, like they've had some rough offensive games, and I know they're working in a new offensive piece. But to me, it really shouldn't be that big of a factor. And I know as the season progresses, they kind of started off slow last season, so I'm not totally going to discount this Jags team, because when that offense is clicking, I think they're in the top 10 range. Not top 5. I think that's definitely a a very hot take to say the Jags are top 5 offense, but I think when they're clicking, they're a top 10, and they can definitely put up their fair share of points. But we just really haven't seen that game yet this season. But they have the pieces.
Ben, I think this could be a James Cook type game as well, because the way Bijan ran over him, I think Cook will have his chances.
But the difference is
on the outside and use speed to get the next level.
Exactly. But the difference is, as we saw last week in that Jaguars Atlanta game, where they weren't able to capitalize on Bijan running, was with the play action passing game, where Josh Allen currently ranks first in the league in play action passing stats. So keep doing what's working, right? Get Josh under center, do the play action, dial up some big plays, because if Nico Collins and Tank Dell can light up that Jacksonville secondary, then Diggs and Davis should be partying in the end zones in London all game long. Like, to me, this Jacksonville defense is really not that good. They got 2 really good players, in my opinion. One is Tyson Campbell, who's a very solid player, and 2 is Josh Allen. But if you're able to neutralize Josh Allen and you're able to get time in the pocket for Josh, I think the Bills can definitely put up some points. Now, you do have the letdown factor of they're coming off of a big win. Technically, this is a road type game because it's not at home. It is a neutral site. So
it's technically slated as a Bills home game.
It's technically a home game.
We have our logo on the field, Ben. I think.
I get that, Tommy, but we have to travel, however many hours across the ocean, and we have to sleep overnight, and it's not the home field advantage you get at Highmark Stadium with the Bills fans. So I think we'll get our fair share of supporters there. I mean, Bills Mafia travels very, very well, about 100%. As good as any fan base. But as far as it being a home game, this is a road game. This is like going to Seattle or LA. It's basically equal to a cross-country trip in distance. So you got to expect that maybe the team may not be fully on their A game, and you hope that they are, but Jacksonville's been there for 2 weeks. That's the one advantage that they may have. But as Paul and Jenna brought up, them being away isn't necessarily an advantage to me, because if you see teams who do these long cross-country trips and have to stay away from their team facilities, like the Raiders before they played us this week, they were staying in West Virginia, and they weren't in their Vegas facility, so they stayed all week in West Virginia. And then when they came to Buffalo, they definitely didn't look prepared. Last season, I know San Fran had a long East Coast trip where they went to Atlanta and Carolina. They only won 1 of the 2 of those games. Miami did a West Coast trip where they went 0-2 and struggled on offense both games. So, I mean, team in Miami, I think they stayed out in California last year, right, on that trip. So, like, staying away from home isn't necessarily an advantage. So I think you might see both aspects. And as we saw in last week's game, these London games are usually tend to be a little bit sloppy anyways for some reason, whether it's just, the offness of players playing in a completely different continent in a neutral crowd, it's just definitely some type of, unfamiliarity for these players. But there's usually some type of funky stuff happens in these London games. So you just hope it's for the Jags and not for the Bills. But I mean, you never really know. I mean, I honestly don't really know how to read this game just because it's in London. Like, I think the Jags are a very capable football team, but I think the Bills right now have looked like a much better football team, but they also have the familiarity of playing in London regularly, so they kind of know the drill. The Bills, I don't know if any of these I think Vaughn has maybe played there.
He's never played in London.
He's never played. I mean, has any of the current Bills ever played in London? I'm sure maybe a couple have, a handful on the roster, but none of
Minnesota went once. But I don't know if that was with Diggs on their roster.
What year was it?
I don't know. It was just a few
Yeah.
years ago. I think they
I mean, all
the
these
Giants
stupid
maybe or
London
the Jags. I
games
don't
and
know.
stuff, they just blur together. So I don't
Mhm.
even really remember who
They
played
blur together
when.
just because, like you said, Ben, they're like sloppy. They're normally not like
Didn't
these
the
long.
Maybe like David
Bengals
Murray.
and Washington tie in London one year, I think, or who was it? Two teams tied in London,
That's
and it was
actually, yeah, I think that was them. I think the Bengals
in
tied in
Washington,
London. Yeah.
right?
Uh,
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
the
know if it was Washington, but I'm
No,
pretty
I'm
sure
pretty
it was
sure it
Cincy.
was. 'Cause I think Kirk was the quarterback. It may have been Kirk versus
Oh.
Dalton. That would have been an ugly hunting game. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you want to know about an ugly London game? The game that the Dolphins had to play in London against Jacksonville a few
Yeah.
years
Oh my
ago.
God. Yeah.
Oh, and
That
what
that
wasn't that?
was
That was one of
Jacksonville won.
Urban Meyer's
Mhm.
only wins. His
that was his
only
first.
two
Yeah.
wins
That was his
came
first
against
ever
the
win.
Bills, right? Or no?
Oh my
I
God.
think he got. Or no, he may have been fired by that point when they beat the Colts. But yeah,
It
two
was
of
his
his
first
wins.
win.
The Vikings played the Browns in London in 2017. So I
Okay,
think
so
Diggs
Stephon Diggs
has
could have
that.
played in London at one point.
Yeah.
Well, at least he won because you
When
knew
did
if it
Diggs
was
get
the Browns
drafted?
in 17.
Diggs got drafted 15 or something,
Yeah.
16.
Okay. Team
One of
16.
those years, 15 or 16.
Okay.
I don't have it at
Yeah,
the
Diggs was on that
top.
roster in
Okay.
2017
He
when they
played
went to
that.
London. So I mean, if
I mean,
back to the familiarity, he does have it, so he could kind of.
but that was what,
Yeah.
like 7 years ago. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure he hardly remembers what it's like. Like Jacksonville, they go there every year. It's like their second home. Like who knows when they have those, like $2 billion renovations that they have, modeled for their current stadium. It wouldn't surprise me if they temporarily moved to London for a year or something stupid like that. Like just
Yeah.
because of how their owner is, but like they have that familiarity with London again that we don't. So that is one advantage, but I think Allen has been playing much better football than Sunshine this season. I don't care what the PFF grades show. I think Allen's been far and away a better quarterback.
I agree.
It definitely proves because
And I
3
know
of his
Connor's going to disagree with the PFF ratings being flawed because 2 is number 1, but I have a bone to pick when Trevor Lawrence is number 2, and he really hasn't impressed me all that much.
I don't put stock in PFF grades because out of all the grades you've seen, if you actually watch the games, why are they rated so high?
Yeah.
Tua, I get, but Trevor,
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
we
And
not watch that stinker against Houston? Did we not see that?
And I'm even not trying to throw shade against Mahomes because he is, I think we can all agree, the best player in football right now. But even Mahomes hasn't, like Chiefs fans will tell you that his ratings are off. Like he shouldn't be rated so high this season.
Mm-mm.
I mean, he laid an egg against the Jets. He laid a not so much an egg, but the Lions game was not one to write home about.
Yeah.
And as for competition that they've faced,
Jacksonville,
where
he
is it?
struggled with though, right? They only had 17 points offensively that game, and that's.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
let's be honest. Jacksonville's defense really is not keeping any offensive coordinators up at night.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't keep anyone. Nope. Shouldn't keep anyone's up. Not mine. Not yours. Nobody's. They don't have a threatening aura on offense. It's not like Miami where good luck catching us.
Yeah.
Or it's not like y'all, good luck getting the ball out of his hands. It's not
Yeah.
like the Chiefs where good luck tackling Travis Kelce. It's what do you expect them to do? You don't really know what they're going to do.
I feel
I
like
guess
they're a team that's kind of just struggling to get their identity right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't really have an identity on offense. It's
You-
like you rely on Trevor Lawrence to be
The
that
Prince.
guy, but
Mm-hmm.
who's he going to throw to a lot of the time? Like, are you really going to put all the weight on Calvin Ridley after he's been coming back from a year off of suspension?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
are you going to trust someone like Evan Ingram, who before the Jags career he's had has been known to drop balls consistently?
Right.
So what identity do the Jags have on offense that would really scare anybody? Like, there is
ETN?
none.
Yeah, I mean,
ETN. I don't think anybody's scared of ETN.
yeah, he was robbed of his first season.
That sucked.
With I think it was the Achilles tear or something like that.
It was either. I think it was.
I think he had a foot injury. I think he broke his foot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Plantar fascia.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Liz Frank or whatever, but he did.
No, it was Liz Frank. It was Liz
Oh,
Frank.
it was Liz Frank. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, like having to incorporate him in year 2 had to have been a struggle, you know, with a new head coach, and now trying
Better
to
head coach.
I mean, I think we can all agree that his rookie year, Trevor's rookie year, was just basically a wash because he had probably, you know, objectively the worst, you know, one of the worst head coaches in NFL history. Like I know, you know, you've seen each coach has their different intricacies, and I mean, they're not all, you know, Bill Belichick or Parcells. Like McDaniel, you could definitely tell that he's, you know, a different style of coach, but however they do it, I mean, Dable, I mean, it looked rough on Monday night. Him throwing tablets isn't a good look, but I mean, he still kind of has some respect. And, you know, last season he won Coach of the Year, and he got those guys to play for him. But when you're kicking your players in practice and you're staying around in town after a Thursday night game to hang around with college chicks at a bar, and like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, I just feel bad for Trevor based on the fact that, like, he had a total idiot as his head coach in Urban Meyers for his rookie season. And I think you could definitely tell that, you know, when Peterson got his fingertips on him, you could, you know, see the Doug Peterson kind of effect. And I mean, and speaking of Lawrence, like, I think he's one of these great prototypical new style of quarterbacks, like a Herbert or like a, you know, Josh Allen, this big guy, make almost every throw in the field. They're very cerebral, so they can, you know, change stuff up pre-snap, kind of like we saw on Sunday with Josh. Like that run play was a check at the line. When people say Josh Allen can't read a defense or doesn't make pre-snap adjustments, like, I'll just show him that play. Where he called that and like easy walk and touchdown. But like, you know, the Justin Herberts, like, these are the kind of the new style of quarterbacks. You got these big physical beasts, and they're a little mobile too. Like, Trevor Lawrence can pick up 10 to 15 yards or even 20 if your pass rushers aren't disciplined and don't stay in their lanes and don't contain. And if your linebackers are too far down the field, he'll just tuck it and run. We saw him do that against Atlanta, and he burned the Falcons a couple times. And to be honest, like, he's a pretty fast quarterback. Like, he's not Josh back there when he's running, but I mean, he's not like Manning or Brady. Like, he'll be able to get you some yards. He's kind of a tough style runner too. I mean, he can make almost any throw as well. I mean, really, to me, it's just about him maturing and going through those growing pains. You see the young quarterbacks, but you definitely can see the flashes of brilliance with Trevor Lawrence when you know, turn on a Jags game.
You've seen it last year with Trevor Lawrence. You saw those flashes, but haven't really seen it much this year. Kind of like maybe it's the growing pains of a new offense.
I mean, if you watch Jags games, there's like 4 or 5 big time throws every game you'll see, and just be like, oh my gosh, this guy's got a amazing arm. It's just like absurd. Like, I remember back when he was at Clemson, and I'm a Florida State fan, so I don't typically like Clemson players, but when I first saw Trevor Lawrence, I was like, yep, this guy is definitely has what it takes to be a potential top 5 quarterback in the league. And that's as a true freshman against Alabama, who typically is one of the best defenses in college football, like loaded with NFL players.
You don't have to like Trevor Lawrence if you don't want to. You can just make it a personal thing if you want it.
I'm a Trevor Lawrence fan. As a FSU fan, I will actually admit that I'm a Trevor Lawrence fan. I like his game.
Yep.
He plays he plays the game. He's a very good quarterback, fun to watch. He's got some moxie and swagger.
Yeah.
And like after his playoff win, he's hanging out a freaking Waffle House at 12 a.m. in casual clothes, just like a regular dude.
Yep.
Like, I mean, how can you hate Trevor Lawrence? I mean, the guy is
Exactly.
awesome.
He's cool. He's a cool dude. He's just a cool
He has
dude.
the flow,
He is.
like the hair. You know,
Mhm.
I'm a
Yeah.
big. I don't know, for some reason, like what attracts me towards players is the hair. I don't know why. I mean, I have a great set of hair, but like I see like some of these like good young players, they just flow good with the hair. I don't know what it is. It's just like it
Easy
makes me
Trev.
like you even more.
Andrew Van Ginkel's hair, perhaps?
He needs better shampoo.
No.
He just has great quarterback aura, Trevor Lawrence. Like,
No, he does.
He does.
He does.
Yeah, it's interesting because you bring up how Trevor Lawrence basically got sabotaged his rookie year by a horrible head coach. Tua Tagovailoa was the same way. Sabotage.
true.
Okay, let's be real though. Brian Flores to Urban Meyer is a canyon of difference because
Yeah.
at least Brian Flores knew what he was doing on one side of the ball.
Yeah, at least
And
he could keep you guys at a 500 record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, after
except-
going 0-5 first.
yeah. I mean,
Those last 8 wins of the season.
he ultimately alienated Tua Tagovailoa from the team by trying to. Our name was linked to Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Tom Brady. I don't think Lamar Jackson. Oh, and
no, it was Lamar Jackson. I saw all
there
those
was Lamar
Twitter,
Jackson in there.
those Twitter
yeah,
edits.
well, that was Twitter. The Dolphins, I don't think themselves actually ever made any requests to the Ravens, but I don't know if anybody here would also know this, but they actually also made a request for Russell Wilson.
Really?
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Before they fired Flores because Greer just had enough of his BS.
Well, I mean,
Thank
hey,
God.
yeah, you avoided some high knees on the plane.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I'm glad we avoided that. I'm glad we avoided the Brady mess. I'm glad we avoided what really is the Deshaun Watson
Oh
mess.
my gosh. I mean, just kind of to touch on it quickly, I mean, it's almost like Cleveland decided to pay like 250 million guaranteed
230.
trade, 230 million guaranteed trade, 2 maybe 3 first-round picks, multiple
3.
other picks, 3, for a downgrade at quarterback. And Baker Mayfield
is
like,
that guy.
He is that guy. Like, if I'm Tampa Bay, I sign him this year because I think they found their quarterback. He's still young enough where he can be that guy for several years to come.
Yep.
His teammates love him. He's got the respect of the locker room. He finally has grown past that, Johnny Manziel, jackass, college frat boy phase where he's just like a total douchebag. Like, I mean, you can tell he's accepts responsibility and he's matured now.
Yep.
And
I
Tampa,
love it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I've always liked Baker Mayfield as well. But back when he was at Oklahoma, maybe just because him being kind of like a smaller quarterback and just having this really fiery personality and being really fun to watch in college. Like, I mean, Oklahoma Baker was, I mean, that's one of the best college quarterbacks, for my money.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's given us some great NFL performances too. That playoff win against the Steelers was gold.
It was.
I love that so much.
He's continued it this year too in Tampa. Like, he's balling right now. He's got the boys to 3-1 record. They'll probably win their division. That's my early take right now.
Yep. I love it for them too. I love it for everybody in Tampa. But it's interesting too because as a Jacksonville local, or close enough to Jacksonville to be a Jacksonville local, we'll hear all about the Bills. And I think nobody's really frightened. And that's just because they've been in London, for the past week. They're waiting on y'all to get there. And personally, I know, Ben, you said advantage and disadvantage. I know Paul said it was an advantage to not being in London. Personally, I think it's a disadvantage to not being in London right away because the Jags have already had that time in London. They don't have to face any of the jet lag from a long flight. They don't have to face any of the low
Right.
quality of rest. They're going to be at pretty much 100% when it comes to energy and just pure stamina. The Bills won't be. Your players won't have that much rest. The ones that were injured, as I think it was either Paul or Tommy said, won't really see much practice time because you have to make that long flight across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
So I think there's actually a lot of advantages for Jacksonville in this game. And heaven forbid, I'm not saying this because Dolphins fan, hurdy har har, screw the Bills, right? No, this is as unbiased a take as I could possibly give on this.
Right.
I think the Jags have more of an advantage than people think. I think that this is a very close match considering every factor involved. And I just got a feeling about the Jags. Will they win? I don't think so, but I think the possibility is higher than I think people are giving them credit for. And I think it's because everybody does the one bad game ruins the whole feel kind of thing. Like how they did with Tua last week. Everybody wants to throw him under the bus now when he didn't even have that bad a game. People threw Trevor Lawrence under the bus because of that Texans game when he's looked pretty good all year. So
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a good game for sure. But I think it'll be one that has y'all on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, Connor. The one thing I will say, though, is part of the reason the Bills are leaving Thursday is because NFL teams have found that in leaving at the end of the week, they actually avoid the jet lag and all the travel issues, and that it's better just to fly in as late as week as possible just so you don't get jet lag and have to deal with all that, play the game, and just fly right back. So, like, I mean, we've never seen a team play consecutive weeks in London, so I guess we don't really know what it's going to be like for Jacksonville, right? But I will say, I mean, the Bills have kind of struggled with the Jags as of late the last couple of years. I know they beat them Josh's rookie year, but obviously we lost down in Duval in 21, that 9-6, and then that playoff game. So, I mean, it's not like we have had a lot of success against this organization.
Right.
That was a lit day down there. I will tell you that right now. When they won 9-6, that was a very lit day. They thought there was a shot that Urban Meyer might be the savior, and then nope.
Do you know who the ref is for this game? And just one quick, I don't know, just because the ref of that game just for some reason,
Lane Clark. Lane Clark.
Yeah, that guy just really, really aggravated that.
I remember his name. I'll remember his name for forever. I'll say it on my deathbed.
Like I didn't like the other Josh Allen dominated that game for sure. But that referee for that game specifically, I'm just sitting here remembering that game. I'm like, the ref was putrid. I remember just screaming at the TV. I never screamed so much at a ref in my life.
Lane Clark. Wait. Lane Clark is going to be the ref for Kansas City Vikings.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So, Jags Bills is Sean Smith.
I don't even know if I can say I'm familiar with that official.
I can't either.
Has he done any Bills games in the past?
That's what I'm going to look him up.
That are iffy at times. He's iffy at times. I've seen a couple games I've called. He's iffy sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes he makes a bad one. Sometimes he makes a good one.
What are you gonna say, Tommy?
I said, do you guys want to do the game picks?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, before that, I was just gonna say, what is one matchup or one player, either from the Bills or Jaguars, that you're gonna be looking, forward to watching this game? Either player, matchup, whatever you guys want. For me, it's gonna be Josh Allen versus Deanna Dawkins, right? I know I talked about it earlier. Neutralizing him is going to be important, but we saw how impactful he was in Jacksonville, and he completely wrecked our chances at 1 seed 2 years ago. I hope that Sean McDermott really puts an emphasis on neutralizing him, because if we can take him away and he's out of the game, I don't really think they have anyone else really who are threatening pass rusher wise, and that should open things up on offense for us.
Hey, I'll just say that Sean Smith has a really good record for the Bills.
Okay, let's
since
go.
2020. since 2020. He's won.
Do you got any of the
three-
notable games he's done?
Hold on.
Does it say?
Hold on.
We're getting into the refs analytics here. Like it's just a new
Jenna's
stat.
just
we
in
won't
awe.
assign.
Since 2020, the Bills are 6-0 under him.
Wow.
good.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Let's continue
good luck.
it. All right.
Yeah, let's
go.
fucking go.
All right,
Oh,
the
man.
Bills. All
Okay.
right.
So he was the ref for Bills Jets, September 2020.
Okay.
He was the ref
Okay.
for Bills Seahawks 2020.
Okay.
Love that game.
Okay.
He was the ref for Bills Steelers 2020.
Oh wow.
Bills Dolphins October 2021.
Okay, another good
um,
one.
Yeah.
No, that one was actually like really like that was tough. There was a fucked up.
Hey, we
penalty on the
won it. We
Bills.
won it. So that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah,
Yes.
As long
I
as
was
we
at
win,
the
it's a good
game.
one.
I was at
You-
the
you
game.
won
There
it.
was a really bad penalty on the Bills. I think they called like offsides and
Oh.
or I think it was called like a false start on the Bills, but it was really a neutral zone infraction or
Mhm.
something like that.
No.
And we were chanting, "Ref, you suck! Ref, you suck!" But
Oh,
his
man.
his record with the Bills is actually really good. He was the ref for Bills Titans last year.
Oh, nice, nice.
Ben, okay, so
That's a
one
great
player
one.
I got my eye on for this game is, I mean, I think it's going to be his first time suiting up. It's Kyer Elam.
Kyer Elam, I like it.
I want to see him match up with whoever they got him up against. I want to just see like his first game, if he's got the instincts, if he's going to be out there and try to, earn a spot on this roster to keep going with Trey out and see if he can just, beat out Dane Jackson. I want to see what Kyer can do.
Paul, you got a matchup or player to watch?
I do. I really do. I mean, I think we're all waiting for that Dalton Kincaid game. We're
Okay.
waiting for it. I mean, we're patiently waiting for as fans. We're just waiting for it. I mean, every week we come in, we're waiting for that Dalton Kincaid game where he just is Dalton Kincaid, and then our timelines is filled with him. Like, I'm going to say it. It's going to be a Dalton Kincaid game. I mean, we were talking about jet lag. We're talking about the layover. We're talking about everything. You're talking about that Jags defense. Maybe don't have the linebackers there. You're talking about the Bills play action, and Josh Allen. I think this is the Dalton Kincaid game. We're going to see. We've been seeing it over the last 2 weeks. Ken Dorsey wants to use Kincaid and Knox.
I love
We've
it, Paul.
seen Kincaid and Knox both get some catches. I think Kincaid had 5 catches and 4 targets last game. So you're starting to see that Ken Dorsey creativity in that 12 personnel. And I think you're going to see more of it because of that reason, because of going to London.
Okay. I like it, Paul. That's a good pick.
That Dalton Kincaid game. It's coming for sure. I thought it was going to be last game because
Me
none
too.
of my defense knew how to tackle anybody, but
Right.
apparently not. Apparently Dalton Kincaid was kind of just there.
He was good though. I mean, he had a first down. I know one play. He got one. I think it 4 or 5 receptions, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe like 40 something yards. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't kill you, but
Nope. And I'm glad he didn't, because that would have just been awful. But as for this game coming up, I actually am really curious to see how your entire secondary is going to do now. I just feel terrible, about Tre'Davious White. I really hope he heals up and comes back even better than he was, because that was just not fun to see. You saw him just hitting his helmet on the ground. I hated to see that. So it'll be interesting to see how Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk and all them match up against your secondary at that point. Maybe Kyer Elam does earn a spot on your 53-man roster. Maybe my joke about trading Cedric Wilson in a 6th for Kyer Elam, so we never have to see Eli Apple on the field again, will be all for nothing.
Kyer Elam is already on the 53.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're not getting rid of Eli Apple, and I hate to say it.
he's gonna start for you guys against the Giants. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, please don't torture me like that, Ben. Stop it.
Jenna, you got a matchup in this game?
I believe she just disappeared
She disappeared into the Twitterverse.
Into the void.
I don't know. And it just
into the Twitter. Yeah, got the Dolphins.
I don't
fans
know.
mentioning
She's back.
it.
Gotta let my dog inside.
She's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was.
She's
that-
a responsible pet owner.
Yep.
I mean, where has Josh been? Just on as just lingering it behind her desk. I mean, I know this is not we're getting off topic here, but that's fine. Like
It's cool.
Josh just randomly just jumping.
He's
from the
not.
chair.
He's just chilling, just listening intently. Oh, and Ben, I'll tell you one thing. I am also an FSU fan. Go Noles. I absolutely dislike Trevor Lawrence, but I love him now. That man plays for my local team now. I got a soft spot for the Jags, and therefore I love Trevor Lawrence.
I've always liked him. I'm not an Alabama. Alabama's like public enemy number one for me in college football. So the fact that he beat Alabama, he got some credit from me.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
and that's very fair. I'm just happy that Trevor Lawrence is succeeding in the NFL like he
Yeah,
is.
I'm happy that the Jets jetted that situation and he's not on the Jets. I'll say
I
that,
know,
by the way.
Same.
Yeah, I would hate Trevor Lawrence if he was on the Jets. Trust me.
To be fair, Ben, we might be in round 2 of this limbo, praying that the Jets don't draft Jordan Travis. I will scream, cry, and throw up if Jordan Travis or Jared Verse is a Jet.
Oh god.
No.
Or a Patriot.
Or
Either of them. They
No.
cannot be Patriots.
that'll be
And then
bad.
the Bengals, we cannot let the Bengals draft Keon Coleman to go with Jamar Chase.
We're kidding,
No.
Keon Coleman.
No, you're
sorry.
not. No,
Yeah.
you're not.
What
Keon
Marvin
Coleman is
Harrison
already
Jr.,
a
Ben?
Dolphin.
They
We
could get
have
Marvin
the
Harrison
draft
Jr.
capital to trade up.
That's the thing. Yeah, y'all really do. I'd be more afraid of y'all getting Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson,
Oh,
not Jared Verse. I don't think you have that
Yeah.
much draft capital to get that high.
I mean, Johnny Wilson may just very well fall to the Bills with all the receivers in the class, and with
I
Keon
know.
Coleman stealing the spotlight from him
Mhm.
this season.
yep.
Yeah,
Hey, Jenna,
I'm nervous. Believe
you
me.
have players Jenna, you're looking out for, Jenna?
James Cook to have a bounce back game. He only had like 29 yards in that game versus Miami.
Is it his chance to break out?
He-
I think.
He's already had his breakout game.
Yeah, against the Raiders.
Yeah.
He might be able to go off in
James
this game.
Cook
maybe.
didn't
I
have to do anything because Josh Allen went 21 of 25 and 84%.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
at that point,
I
it's
mean, he
like,
did have the big catch on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that catch was sick.
That was
Yeah.
a great play. We got to utilize him more in the passing game
Yeah,
because
that's
he's
what-
a
I just-
weapon in space.
Oh yeah.
Just look at
100%.
how
That's my player
how
to watch,
Miami
yeah.
used Mostert. Use him
Yeah.
very, very similarly.
Oh, I agree.
It's kind of
Don't use-
interesting.
Don't use him like we tried to use a Chan because a Chan is about to be our workhorse back
Yeah.
for sure. Use him in the use James Cook in the passing game, kind of like we used Raheem Mostert in the passing game against you guys.
Right. And it's kind of interesting how the backup split situation is going because it's almost 50-50, but it seems like it's actually Murray who's
Mhm.
RB2, which is
Yeah, I've noticed.
interesting. But I mean, Harris still is at his fair share of impact plays. Like
Yeah.
he had a couple first down runs against Miami, some big runs. I think his longest was maybe like 9 yards, but like he's like a guaranteed 3 to 4 yards every time he gets a football just because he's small and, just so strong and powerful. Like, I mean, he's like a little jackhammer or something. Like, he'll always just pound 3 or 4 yards through the defense. So, like, I really like this, the back situation we got going on.
Yeah, I do too.
Actual power back for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Bills-
And you can
Bills got
see.
slammed in the offseason for their depth, trying to go after depth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
here we are now.
And you can just see it in the offense. Like Josh Allen's his designed runs. If you look at the numbers, it is like gone down like by half from last year. Like it's like less than 2 a
Yeah.
game design runs now, which is awesome. Like they don't need to rely on their franchise star quarterback to go out and be the entire offense. Like, we got a run game now, which is big.
Yeah. The addition of the running backs in this offense, something that we didn't see with Dable, and he was too filled in his ways.
Honestly,
I think go away from it.
I think if anything what is proven this season, it's that Singletary probably should have been like the backup to everyone, right? Because even Moss has gone on to prove in his limited action in Indy that he can almost be an RB1, and he never really got that opportunity in Buffalo because we would give him 6 or 8 carries a game, and you can't do anything like that, especially when you don't have a strong O-line in front of you. But now I'm just kind of looking at him dang, I mean, Zach Moss would probably be a nice little piece to be in this offense right now. I mean, I know it's crazy to say, but I think Harris and Murray collectively fill that role. But I just think now it just kind of goes to show you how badly Dabo was kind of misusing these running backs. But
yeah,
I think we got our picks right now.
Let's go for it.
Roll.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Bottom of the screen are going to be our records for the season. So every time we do game picks, the records will show from first to last place. Just for a fun little nugget. After I went 6-0 2 weeks ago, Ben bounced back and went 5-1.
Good job,
so
Ben.
he's gonna try to
Let's
one
go.
up me last week. So, Connor, do you want to quickly give yourself a eulogy for being last place last week, going 2-4?
I went 2-4.
You
Oh,
went 2-4.
yikes.
And you're the only one that
you
went
want to try
under
to redeem
500.
yourself, or are you just going to sit this one out?
No, I will try to redeem myself. Heaven
Okay.
forbid. I absolutely.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Connor.
man.
You could redeem yourself. I say give it a shot.
All right,
I'd say I might as well, right?
Yeah, give it a shot. I think you'll
just
redeem yourself.
remember, let's pick the team, one quick sentence, and move on.
Okay.
All right, I like
normally
it.
We
I like it.
Normally, we don't start with Bills,
But
but
since it's the
because
early
of the
game,
9:30 slate game, we're going to start with the Bills first. So, Bills, Jaguars in London.
well, just like the Bills, I'm 3-1 when picking the Bills. So hopefully, my record will reflect next week the same as the Bills. But either way, I'm gonna pick the Bills. I still think they're the better team. I'm not impressed with Jacksonville's defense. Their offense hasn't fully clicked yet. So give me the Bills.
I agree. Give me the Bills 31-21. I think we bounce I think we're gonna take it to them. I think we're gonna have a good rushing attack. We're gonna be under Josh gonna be under center, and he's gonna ball out. Give me the Bills.
I'm taking the
Yeah.
Bills too.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think it's actually going to be a closer game than people are going to give it credit for. I actually think Jacksonville's going to put up a fight and maybe do some damage, but at the end of the day, I don't think you're going to do enough damage. I say Bills win by 3 points.
Okay.
All right, I like
And
that.
that's even
time.
Yeah, that's even as a local of this city. I will get crucified in Duval by saying this, but Bills are going to win.
The one loss Ben mentioned was week 1 when we all picked the Bills. I was going to pick the Bills, but I'm going to reverse it just
Oh,
to save us.
no.
Okay, so you picked the
But-
Jags.
Now I'm thinking, just like last week, I was going to go Miami, but I didn't want to jinx us. So I'm in a hole.
Yeah, I was
Who
going
do
to
you
say
think's gonna win the game? Let's just jinxes or not. Who do you think's gonna win?
I picked
Give me-
Miami last week, so I would jinx Miami.
yeah, and it worked.
This is the
It's
hard
all up
life
to Paul.
decision as a Bills fan.
If he picks the Bills, they're gonna lose. If he picks the Jags, the Bills are gonna
They
win.
could
So
lose.
do what you want, Paul.
Go for it, Paul.
Give me the Jags. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Oh, man.
If the Jags win, Paul, I'm coming for you. No, I'm kidding.
That could how we start.
We're all going to
start,
start
the show
Paul's
on
house
next
to-
Wednesday.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Get
We're all going to
Get 'em,
Paul's
Ben.
house and you're just going to beat him up. Oh, man, that's hilarious.
All right,
The,
let's go
the
to the
Dolphins
next game.
fan didn't
Yeah, even
pick
the
Bills.
Dolphins fan was on our side. All right, what's next?
right.
Unbelievable.
Next game, Baltimore going on the road to Pittsburgh.
I think
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett is out. I don't know if he is or
No,
not, but
today he's gonna play.
that might be an advantage to Baltimore actually with the way Pickett's been playing. They got beat up by Houston. Come on, give me the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Not even a question.
This is not even a question as well. Give me the Ravens. I think Lamar runs all over them. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens. They beat up on the Browns defense. I mean, you put up 28 on that Browns defense. Like that's incredible. So I'm gonna take the Ravens. I think that although OBJ was out last week, I'm not sure what the status is on him or any of the other guys that were out. But I think that their offense is gonna just start picking up. And quite frankly, Lamar's got to stop using his legs. That's only gonna last him so long. He's gonna get injured again. They have to incorporate the passing game in there.
I think OBJ will be back, which is good for them.
For sure.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely wash. Kenny Pickett. I mean, do we even have to say anything else? Pick is in the name.
It's in the
Ravens are not going to make this close. You're going to have all them fans with their terrible towels waving them around the air like this, looking like complete buffoons, and they're just going to watch your team get steamrolled. Lamar Jackson is my fantasy quarterback one. Give me the Ravens. Not even close.
There we go.
I have a special hatred for Pittsburgh and their fan base.
Give me Baltimore, but I'm not going to say much more because I think Connor knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the third selection. Tennessee
Ooh.
at Indianapolis.
This is gonna be a hard pick, I think.
I need a coin.
Yeah, I need to too.
I know Bills fans hate coins, but
Part of it reflects on Jonathan Taylor, but from what I heard, the reports from today, they didn't have a practice, but they had a walkthrough. He was a full participant in the walkthrough. And from the reporters' reports, that relationship, it may not be fixed, but it is much improved from what it was. And, I mean, Tennessee absolutely got steamrolled by the Browns. Then they went ahead and they beat up the Bengals at home. But I think we can all see that the Bengals are beat up. But regardless of if Richardson and Taylor play together, give me the Colts. I'll still take the Colts either way.
Ooh, yeah. This one's a tough one for me, but I like
could
Tennessee.
honestly be for the division. I mean, first
Derrick
place.
Henry, like he had over 100 yards. I think he could smash this defense. So and maybe D-Hop can get him. Maybe he'll get a touchdown or so. But give me Tennessee.
I'm gonna take Indianapolis. They've been playing better than I expected. Anthony Richardson is back. I just somehow think that he's gonna give them an advantage in this game.
Okay.
Yeah, I am in that same boat. Anthony Richardson's coming back. Jonathan Taylor's coming back. Probably, maybe. You're playing in Indianapolis. You're going to have that nice crowd to your advantage. I'm going to say the Colts win this game.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I'm going to say the Colts too. I mean, we just haven't. We want to see the Richardson Taylor era start. Maybe
can you imagine that backfield together? Talk about dynamic.
But it only might be for a few games because he might get traded away, or maybe just for the rest of the season. So we'll have to see if this Richardson era.
See, but I mean, if he's lighting it up and that offense, like if Taylor comes back and the Colts make the playoffs, when you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, I don't care what the previous rules are or whatever most teams do as far as paying the running backs. You got to pay Jonathan Taylor if he helps you get to the playoffs because you don't have to deal with Anthony Richardson's contract for like 4 more years. You got him on that rookie control. And by that time, you have to pay Anthony Richardson for his first deal. Jonathan Taylor, by that point, is probably not going to have anything left in the tank. And you can Dalvin Cook him to another team, just cut him and get rid of his, cap relief. So if I'm Indy, I think having a big running game is integral for that offense. And I think they should keep Taylor.
All right. The fourth selection, maybe the Taylor Swift era is ending because she's not attending this game. Maybe because the Vikings are winless. Kansas City going on the road to Minnesota. Who we got?
Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. No, I don't think there's going to be a contest. Give me the Chiefs.
This is
Jenna,
a tough
this
one.
deliberation.
Give me
Right,
Captain
though.
Kirk. Give me Captain Kirk. I'm calling it now.
Oh,
Go Minnesota.
In Minnesota,
okay,
Skull.
okay.
They're 1-3. Desperation has hit for that team. Or no, they're 1-3.
Yeah, they're 1-3.
need this win.
Okay.
The Chiefs are 3-1. I mean, they still got the best receiver in football, and they're at home, and that's still a pretty good home field advantage. Like, I know the Chiefs defense has been playing better, but then we saw Zach Wilson last week go out and actually look like a franchise quarterback. Like, if Zach
Right.
Wilson can outplay Mahomes against that defense, like, you don't think Kirk and and Justin Jefferson are going to be gritting all over them next week? Like, I know their defense is very, very suspect, but I don't know. I got to pick an upset. This is my upset.
Ben, that Kirk pick six though was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
It
Absolutely
was pretty
horrendous.
bad when he threw it right.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad. That's the only.
Yeah.
Oh,
he got
he's going to
bodied.
redeem
I'm not
himself.
sure.
He's going to redeem himself. I have a
Yeah.
feeling. He'll be wearing chains after this
I
game.
respect your pick. I respect the pick, Ben.
Mhm.
I think it's due that I think it's due that the Chiefs, drop a dookie, against an inferior team. I'm gonna take the Vikings for the upset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all are all pretty split. I mean, there's no Taylor Swift to save the Chiefs this time. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're playing in Minnesota. I just don't really see how Kirk Cousins and by the way, second best receiver in football, the best one's in Miami. But
Buffalo.
we'll go there. Okay. All right. But no, I can't see them winning. I mean, I can see them maybe putting up a good fight because the Chiefs defense is basically a bunch of Swiss cheese.
I
at this
wouldn't
point.
say that. I wouldn't say
the
that.
secondary
Chiefs
is Swiss
defense-
cheese.
Um,
That secondary
I mean,
is
Alan Lazard bodied Trent McDuffie on this one route last
Mhm.
We
week.
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that Chiefs secondary is Swiss cheese. I still though don't see how they're gonna do it. I think the Chiefs are gonna win the football game.
Gotcha.
Even without the Taylor Swift effect, I think they're gonna win the football game easy. Give me the
Mhm.
Chiefs.
The right now the
Paul's like
Minnesota
the deciding vote.
Yeah, Paul's the
Yep.
I am the deciding vote. I'm gonna keep you in. I'm gonna keep you in a trance right now because I'm gonna throw some Taylor Swift verses here just because I've just been waiting
Oh.
for this
Here
moment.
we
Oh
go.
my
Oh,
Right
god.
now,
no.
Minnesota is in their blank space right now. They're winless, but the Kansas City Chiefs are in the red era. They
Oh.
have Travis Kelce. They have Patrick Mahomes. They're 3-1, and Taylor Swift is with them. But they have a Taylor on their own team that kind of is a little grabby. I think Minnesota is going to be enchanted to win this game. They're going to win over the Chiefs. They're
Wow.
due for a win.
Okay.
The Vikings win.
All
That
That's
was something.
no.
That's incredible. That
I know
was
the
I
Chiefs
was
have
waiting
they
for
have a
that moment. I don't know
Great
why.
job.
I was
Alright.
waiting for it.
Great job.
Bravo, Paul.
Yeah, that
I
was
know
incredible.
I know the
Something.
Vikings defense has a bad reputation, but
I see what
you
she
know.
did there.
Yeah, they might.
Well, we'll see if this
they might
week if
get back
Kirk's really the
together.
problem, I guess.
Hmm
This game could cause a lot of bad blood, Ben.
Oh no.
Did I set the chain reaction?
Yep. It's all you. It's all you,
Let's go
Paul.
to the let's go to the fifth selection before we get to Taylor Swift out. Denver.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of
versus
trouble.
the Jets. It's a
Denver's the home team here.
Denver is definitely the home team.
Okay.
So
Give me Denver.
God, toilet bowl here.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the bowl. Go
Toilet Bowl
I'll give you a
2.0,
pick.
but here's my thinking. in the first toilet bowl of the 2023 season. The Denver Broncos gutted out a very ugly win and came away 1-0 in toilet bowl. So in the second toilet bowl of the season, they've been here before in this spot, in this type of game. Give me the Broncos in the second toilet bowl.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm taking the Broncos in the toilet bowl too.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that
Let's ride. Let's go.
Russell Wilson has surprisingly had a all right season. But you know, the Jets, you know what? I'm going to switch it up. I'm actually going to take the Jets. You know why? That the Jets defense, I think they're better than the Broncos
Yeah,
Broncos offense.
But Zach Wilson doesn't have Travis Kelce's mom there to play for, so
That's true.
I don't think it was for Travis Kelce. I think it was for last week was named. I think the Battle of Taylor Swift. Today, this is named the Toilet Bowl.
yeah. But I'm
This
saying, you know
seems
why?
like
You know why Zach played out last week is because Donna Kelsey was in attendance. That's why he
Yep.
brought his A game.
The reason
Oh,
why,
yeah.
right, Ben?
Mhm,
I mean,
for sure.
maybe he wants to play for Sierra.
Oh,
Ooh.
I think she's not old enough for him.
Yeah, probably
No.
not.
You're right.
Tell me
probably
what's your
not.
pick.
This is a sucky one for me, but I'll give me Denver at home. I'm gonna take Denver.
Wow.
Connor?
All righty, Tommy. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I can't trust a defense that got 70 points put up on them. I just can't. I know it was us. I still can't believe we did that. It got me through the freaking Bills' embarrassment. But at the end of the day, the Jets' defense is so much better than the Broncos' offense. I'm taking the Jets. I think even Zach Wilson and that offense could drop 30 to 40 points on them.
Ooh,
If
okay.
Tua and the best offense in the league can drop 70, no way. Jets are going to win. Maybe they'll even put up 30 to 40 points.
Okay.
Zach Wilson seems to be the anti-Kirk Cousins, but I think this is the 1 o'clock game that he's going to win. It is 1, right? Is it 1 o'clock?
No,
No, technically
25
4
in
because
Denver.
in
Okay.
Denver.
Okay, so it is somewhat the anti-Kirk Cousins effect. Zach
Yeah.
Wilson seems to play better in prime time than he does in regular 1 o'clock games.
Mhm.
Is it technically prime time? No, but it's close enough.
It's
I'm still taking-
primer.
Yep, I'm taking Zach Wilson and
Okay.
the Jets.
I'm gonna if Zach Wilson played like Zach Wilson of last week, the Jets win, and that's what it is.
Wow.
That's
So
I'm
I'm the
Zach Wilson.
only Bronco guy here.
No, I picked
No,
the Broncos.
you're
I
the-
Oh,
yeah,
you
you're-
did too, Tommy. Okay, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
Tommy
Okay,
did.
good. All right.
Broncos
Yep.
here.
Okay. But still, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Maybe the game of the weekend in Sunday night football.
Ooh.
Cowboys at 49ers.
See, when I first saw the schedule, I actually leaned Dallas here because I think Dallas is going to want to win this game just to get revenge based off the last couple of seasons. That being said, I think Brock Purdy is 15-0 in the regular season.
Mhm.
And I think he's about to go 16-0 in the regular season as a starting quarterback. Like until like he doesn't get his arm ripped off out of him in a game. Like, I mean, he can't be stopped. I don't know what it is. Like, he's not the most physically imposing, but like, I mean, he's making, those plays, those checkdowns. He's hitting the right receivers. He's got pretty good pocket presence. He's, taking care of the football. Give me San Francisco until Purdy loses. I'm not picking against him.
I
I'm
mean,
with you.
dare I say he could be the MVP?
Oh,
I'm with
oh.
I'm-
Yeah. And
Oh.
soon you're going to have to
No, I
call
was
Brock
actually being
perfect
sarcastic.
because he's looking pretty good. That was bad.
Oh my!
I got the 49ers as well. I think Dak makes a crucial mistake. I think he throws a pick in a crucial moment where the game's real close, and then he throws that
Like he
that
did in
wild
Arizona.
yeah
No,
yeah.
you
yeah,
mean
with
like Dak
that wild
Prescott does
pick.
every year?
I don't trust him against the 49ers. So give me the 49ers.
I'm actually gonna take the Cowboys in this one.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
I really want the Niners to get their first loss of the season.
I got
And Brock Purdy, I'm sorry, you're a little kid, but I can't with this little Mr. Irrelevant story. It's
I love it.
I love it too.
I
I do.
guarantee
I'm
I
a
love
sucker
it.
for stories
I
like that.
can't,
Like,
man.
Me
I
too.
like it too.
I can't. They're loving on this guy, but he's got some of the best offensive weapons in the league.
hey, I mean, if it was that easy, why didn't Trey Lance, Nick Mullins, CJ
That-
Beathard, Jimmy Garoppolo make it
Yep.
look this easy or this
Yep.
efficient?
I mean,
Make
Yep.
all these high level back shoulder throws into the end
Yep.
zone,
Yep.
you know, in tight coverage where like only Purdy
Mhm.
could put it. Like,
Brock
I
Purdy
mean,
is him.
he is him.
Give me
I'm
Creeper.
sorry. If you're a Purdy doubter, you need to get on the Purdy train because he is him.
Yep. Get on that bandwagon right now. And
Thank you, because he's my backup quarterback in Dynasty, and there's a reason why.
oh yeah, he's incredible. So I'm gonna put a fun twist to
You get
this.
a bath.
So I'm taking the 49ers for a very
My
good
dad's
reason.
girlfriend's dog.
So the reason I'm going to take the 49ers is because, like the Dolphins and Bills, the 49ers seem to always own the Dallas Cowboys whenever they play.
Right.
Yeah.
I physically cannot see a world in which
Right,
Dak
right.
Prescott manages to get the ball down the field accurately enough against the San Francisco 49ers defense.
Oh,
I don't
100%.
think Christian McCaffrey's going to be stopped either. Carry me to another fantasy win, please. And long story short, Dallas cannot beat San Francisco like Miami cannot beat Buffalo. So,
Okay.
as
That's a
much
good
as
point.
me, the Dolphins fan, wants to see the 49ers lose to make sure that we can pop the champagne with the 72 Dolphins at some point this season, it's not happening. 49ers are going to win.
I'm taking the 49ers. Dak Prescott, for some reason, when he plays the 49ers, he forgets how to play football.
Yep.
Like,
He forgets the rules.
exactly. Yep.
I agree.
I don't know why. It's just one of those things. It's the 49ers.
Yep.
What's football?
Yep.
Give me the 49ers.
If the Cowboys win, do you guys have to get me something? I'm the only one picking the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but I just
I think
Jenna,
we all
I was
hate
the only one that
They're
picked
gonna
the Titans.
Jenna, if the Cowboys win,
Tommy's
you can
Titans.
have
Yep,
a
my
segment to
Titans.
yourself
Remember the
praising the
Titans.
Cowboys.
okay.
If the Jaguars do win, I have to open the show with an apology. I'm
Okay.
going. for it.
Okay, that's a good rule.
that is a good one.
And lastly, me and Tommy are going to give you a couple picks that we like for this weekend. My pick is give me Houston +2 at Atlanta. I don't think the Falcons are that great of a team, and I like how D'Amico Ryans has had his team playing. CJ Stroud is him, by the way. So give me Houston.
Give me all right, and then my pick is give me Miami -10.5. I think they're gonna slaughter the Giants. So give me Miami -10.5.
Bounce back win there.
They're gonna have a bounce back
Dang,
win,
dang.
and Connor's gonna be happy.
I actually do want to ask y'all a legitimate question regarding
Sure.
that game.
Uh-huh.
So, if you look at the defensive statistics throughout the game, discount the game that the Broncos gave up 70 to the Dolphins.
Uh-huh.
The New York Giants statistically have a worse defense by 1.5 miles
Then the
over the
Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
Really?
And I mean, you got to see what the Giants have done.
Dude,
They gave up.
their sack percentage sucks. They haven't. I
Are
don't.
you going for
They don't have
80?
a single turnover.
I was going to say, yeah, they gave up 40 to Dallas. I'm pretty sure it was Dallas. They
Yeah. And Dallas
absolutely-
really was not trying to give
No.
40. Like they just literally just like ran the football and like punted a couple times and
Yep.
bled out the clock. Like they were not throwing the football or
Nope.
pushing the tempo or anything. It was just the Giants
exactly
brutal
technically,
mistakes.
they gave up 30. Technically, they gave up 33. 'cause they had
33.
special teams.
Yeah, there was a block. Yeah, there was a block punt
Mhm.
There's
Oh,
a-
yeah, I
there's a
remember
block
that
kick.
now.
or
block
kick.
So-
You're right. Yep.
I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing to also remember is that when the Broncos put up or gave up 70, the Dolphins did that without Jalen Waddle. They will have Jalen Waddle against the Giants,
Mm-hmm.
And that was
the-
really Devin.
that was Devin
Achan's-
Achan.
Yeah, first
was-
action. So they've kind of seen what he's got. I feel like they'll put
200
him more
yards.
into the game plan. Now,
Mhm.
I guess just right as we wrap up, my final question is Wilson practicing again or is he still out?
He's still out.
He was supposed to come back from IR this week, but that has been rescinded. He's
I mean, it's
still
not
there.
like you need him.
Devin Achan has absolutely shown up and shown out. I actually legitimately think the Dolphins stand another chance of 70, but will it happen? Maybe not, but man, would it not be the greatest thing in the world to just take out all our anger on the Giants and put up 70 again?
That would be
After
awesome. I would.
what y'all did to us?
That honestly, that would be
That
fun.
would be a
That
weird thing that would
stinks.
happen.
I'm sorry
like-
to the Giants fans. Like, I kind of am a little bit enjoying this because everyone said that it was Brian Daboll. It was all Brian Daboll who made Josh Allen, and that
Yep.
without, Brian Daboll, Josh Allen was going back to this,
Mhm.
his old ways, and Brian Daboll was just basically this quarterback whisperer, like any guy he could make into a good quarterback. And people were actually saying that Danny Dimes was better than Allen at one point, which is just ludicrous. So, like,
Wow.
kind of reap what you sow, I guess. Like that, you kind of deserve the humble pie. But
Oh yes.
and New York fans in general, screw them. They're
Yeah.
the most annoying collective sports fan base in general. So it is what it is.
I don't know if I can live with the Giants getting humiliated next Sunday because
Yeah, that is the one thing though.
They
For
play
the
the
Bills
Bills.
fans, we play the Bills. So like we
Yeah.
want the Giants to probably realistic beat. I mean, we want you guys to lose every game no matter what because
Yeah.
screw Miami respectfully. But I'm just talking
don't
about
want
this from a
them
Bills
destroyed.
perspective.
Bill's perspective,
If because of the Giants get put through a paper shredder and they limp into that game 1-4, they're gonna have to try to search for something, and that's when the team gets desperate. And
Yep.
sometimes, it's even if you're a better team, you may just catch a team that's ready to win, and they're gonna go through you no matter what, even if they're the
Yep.
inferior team.
Ben,
So
we could see Tyrod Taylor maybe coming in.
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God.
They benched
Oh,
him.
but
Full
Tommy,
Buffalo circle.
Tommy, be careful what you wish for because it is very Bills-like
It's
for
very-
Tyrod Taylor to beat the Bills
Don't say
in
that.
prime time. That's
No.
what I'm saying.
Oh
No,
man.
I'm saying, Tommy, be careful what you wish for. Don't wish for Tyrod
right,
Taylor.
you're
I want to
right.
see Danny Dimes,
Yeah.
looking at the defenses, like,
Yeah.
with a
Mhm.
blank look in his eyes, just turning the ball over left and right.
Right.
I mean, it's not honestly, it's part of it's his fault, but like if you saw some of those reps where like, where he goes set hike and like there's 4, like you count like a second, he doesn't have a chance to drop back. There's literally 5 defenders in his backfield. Like that was probably some of the worst offensive line play I've ever seen
I
by a football team in a game. And
Mhm.
like I've seen some bad games by the Bills. It wasn't just one guy, it was the entire O line, like every play. It was like the Red Sea opening up. It was insane. Like
Yeah, if the Dolphins can't generate
I mean,
pressure,
you have some
there's something
problems.
seriously wrong.
Yeah.
Connor, if you guys can't get pressure on the Giants, I'll say that.
If Andrew Van Ginkel is our only defensive player showing up against the Giants, then we got a serious problem on our hands
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you may want to rethink
100%
Fangio's contract.
Well, I mean, y'all in Bills Mafia should not pray that Vic Fangio gets booted. I guarantee you.
No, I would give him a lifetime contract if I were you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, y'all could do exactly that because your own DC or your assistant to McDermott is probably right at Greer's crosshairs if that happens,
Yeah.
along with Robert Saleh if the Jets just absolutely tank. But that's neither here nor there. I'm giving Fangio the chance all the way through the season because he's playing without Jalen Ramsey. And you're playing without him and you're playing without Jalen Phillips. I mean, you're playing without a lot of key players. So I'm going to give it till the end of the season for his defense to kind of mesh and perform. But as for the Giants, oh man, let's just win. And then I know with us, we're all going to be Jacksonville fans because screw Buffalo respectively or respectfully. But at the end of the day, I mean, we call y'all table smashers, so that's another thing. But
get the tables.
Get the tables indeed. I did. Fun fact: I saw a video on Twitter. Somebody actually put a little plushy dolphin on a table. The crowd around him was chanting
That's
"Squish
awesome.
the fish," and he jumped through the table.
That's awesome.
Legendary.
I laughed. I had to. Jenna, I'm pretty sure you retweeted it, and that's how I saw it. It was the greatest thing. I had to laugh, even though we did literally get squished. Which, even though fish aren't Dolphins aren't fish; they're mammals.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
It
Semantics.
fits. Okay, I know why y'all do it. It fits.
Marine animal.
Yeah.
It is a marine animal. Wait, what? Oh, that. Yeah, I saw that a couple of days
Yeah.
after, and I was just
I mean,
so
that-
paid.
Yep.
A
Oh,
good
that's
punching bag. Yeah,
awesome.
well,
All right.
well, it's like I said though. We will be seeing y'all 2 more times this year.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right.
And that Jacksonville game, I think, and like Connor, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it could actually be a little bit of a shootout, if you want my opinion. Just because we have some injuries on defense. We're obviously missing Trey. We're in London. They kind of had the familiarity, like you mentioned. So I think we'll be in for a fun one Saturday.
Mhm.
But
Oh yeah, for sure.
or Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah, but to be fair, if it is a shootout and it's between Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence, I'm taking Josh Allen all the time.
Yeah,
every day.
because Trevor Lawrence in that type of situation is going to be the one to make the critical
Yeah.
mistake in that game.
Yeah.
Unless Josh Allen decides he's going to play hero ball like he did against the Jets and hurdle
But-
everybody in sight,
Oh, okay.
Just learn
He
from
hasn't
that.
done that since the Jets, so I guess we'll
No.
see.
because no one's
Um,
rattled him that much.
Yep.
Yeah, because the offensive line has played pretty great. I
Mhm.
mean,
It
the
has.
Commanders' defensive line is no joke,
Nope,
and they couldn't do shit against them.
nope, not at all.
All right. Well, Connor, thank you again for coming
Connor.
on the show, helping us break down the Dolphins game and then preview this Jaguars game. And again, tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. to the Buffalo Basement for more insight on this game. Matt and Patrick will break it down. Thank you again for watching, and go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Squish the fish.